to the Obviously Rare podcast. I'm your host, Michael T. Porter. Hope y'all are doing all right. Hope y'all feeling good. Hope y'all smelling good. I hope y'all got how Marshawn Lynch say. Hope you keeping all y'all mentals together. All your chickens and your mentals. Shout out to the Bay Area. Oh man, Obviously Rare is obvious that we are rare because ain't nobody doing it like us. Let's jump into this thing. Anything I'm missing? No. We're going to have a little fun today. And this episode is going to ruffle a lot of you lady folks and you weak men out there, but it's okay because just like Paul came through them churches and all those cities and got some straightening, laid down the law for what's to come, how we should move as a Christian nation, as believers. I'm going to do the same today. I don't care about your feelings. I do care about your opinions because if we don't talk about God, then he will become non-existent. And this is what the world wants. They don't want nobody to talk about God. They don't want nobody to talk about truth. They don't want nobody to talk about Christ. They don't want nobody to talk about the Spirit. They don't want nobody to talk about war. They don't want nobody to talk about nothing. Just feed us trash. And we are rare. We are rare because we're going to upset the established order. That's what we're going to do. Upset the established order. No woman should be preaching in the church. Shut your mouth. Shut it up. Shut it up. Shut it up. I don't care how you feel about it because everything that these people are doing in our churches have confused everybody. That's why a lot of people don't go to church because none of the churches are following God. It ain't nothing new. Why you think Jesus came back? When Jesus came back and he was turning over the tables in the tabernacle, hold on, and everybody is acting a fool, hooping and hollering, stealing. Everything was about money and scamming. Just like God can see it all, Jesus saw it all. I'm gonna go to this article where it talks about women taking over the churches, and I'm going to point out why this is absolutely absurd, why this is absolutely the destruction. It is not empowerment, it is destruction. Anything that the world does, just know it's of Satan and it goes against what God's want. It's absolute destruction when a woman is taking the place of a man at the household, at the church. It's not just the church, it's everywhere. They want the women to replace the roles of the men. They want women in male roles. They want males in female roles. No man is ever supposed to follow a woman. Ever follow a woman. They're weak. Let's get into this. Let's check this thing out. Drum roll action. I'm gonna show you what the world says about women empowerment. I'm gonna show you what the world says. Let's see. Am I on? Okay, I'm on. I was making sure. Wait, hold on. Y'all give me a sec. It kicked me out. Okay, here we go. This is according to CNN. .com. More women. This what year is this? Oh, it's only 2 years ago. This is recent. Only 2 years ago, more women are aiming to become church leaders. Together, they could change American Christianity. Now, look at this. It's crap to me. Look at this mess. Together, they could change American Christianity. This opens up a door. I'm going to dive into this. But let's see what they say. Their perspective, the worldly perspective. Christian leadership. I ain't gonna read the whole thing, just get the juice and potatoes. A little introduction. Christian leadership in the US has typically been seen as a male occupation. Yep. The right for women to be ordained and serve as faith leaders has been hard won over decades, and in several major factions like the Roman Catholic and Southern Baptist churches, women are barred from the highest levels of leadership, as they should. However, among mainstream dominations that do ordain women, a sea change is occurring. More women are entering seminary and other theological programs with the intent of becoming priests. As it follows, more women are also occupying those roles after being ordained. Experts say one of the main reasons for the increase is that women of faith are looking at the religious traditions and sensing a need for change. Understand Right there, how they said it's a need for change. What needs to change? Why do they feel it needs to change? Because these women are not of God. They want to change God's word. Understand what's going on here. They want to change the order of God. Who are you? Who are you to change the order of God? This self absorption, this ego. Y'all let me know. Am I missing something? Their religious traditions and sensing a need for change. Women and men in the church have seen abuse and suffering. They've seen the role of patriarchy in the church. They want to address constructively some of these challenges that have been facing with both the church and in our society, says Alex Abernathy, Chief Academic Officer of Fuller Theological Seminary in Pasadena, California. Oh God, California, that's my home state with a mess. They're saying enough of this, we need to be different. So I think a lot of these women are marshaling energy in that direction. However, female priests still face an alarming number of challenges navigating institutional structures built by and for men. Let's see. So let's skip down how the presence of women church leaders has grown. And it has grown significant because the reason why I brought this up because and I brought it up in the past, but I was at the store and somebody came up to me. It was some Africans, and I was actually shocked that some Africans had a woman. You know how dominant African men are. I was absolutely astonished how African men are allowing their women to be priests and preachers. What the? I say, what? So when they pass me, they're like, oh, come to our church. Come to our church. And then on the brochure, it said pastor. It was a woman's name. Keisha Owadua, or whatever her name was. It was an African lady. An African lady running church. No woman is supposed to be in front of no church. Took the brochure, threw it away. I had no choice, y'all. Do y'all hear me? I had no choice but to throw it away. I can't have that in my house. Absolutely. They didn't even make it to my front door. Got it up out of here. Ripped it up out of here. Never ever follow no female uh priest or pastor. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Let's dive into this. So let's see. Let's look at the specific example in the Evangelical Lutheran Church of America, a large denomination with about 4 million members in the U.S. 40% of the church's pastors are women, according to a 2022 report from the church. Women also made up 46% of all bishop positions and 54% of associate or assistant pastors, though only 22% of senior pastor positions. Across the board, these numbers mark a dramatic increase from the ELCA's 2015 data. Can y'all believe that? ELCA is the Evangelical Lutheran Church of America. They just shorten it right here. They just shorten it right here. As you can see, they're pushing for women to lead in the church. They're pushing for women to lead in the household. They're pushing for women to lead in the workplace. This world is ran by women, right? Look at the world, though. Children don't even know if they're a boy or a girl. But here's the thing: when you hold women accountable, they don't want to be held accountable. Look at the world's all messed up. How women can change the church. And before I go deep in the contrast of God's way and this worldly way and fully understand there is a role. There is a role for men. There is a role for women. There is a role for grandparents. There is a role for children. Look at this mess right here. The church in the modern world called for the elimination of discrimination based on sex. So this whole transgenderism is in church too. It's another form of transgender. Men and women are equal. We're not equal. We're not equal on a lot of things. We're not equal in capabilities. I cannot have a child. You know why? Because I'm a freaking man. How about that? I can't have a period. You know why? Because I'm a freaking man. She can't shave her balls. You know why? Because she's a freaking woman. She doesn't have any. She's strong and she lacks the muscle mass. You know why? Because she's a freaking woman. We're not the same in every aspect of life. And this is what they're trying to preach to our children. Look at this sign right here. Look at the wordplay. Anytime you see modern, that's Satan. So the church in Satan's world called for the elimination of discrimination based on sex. Anytime you see modern or non-traditional or people talking about this is the new world order. There is no difference between men and women. Absolutely disgusting. Ordain women or stop baptizing them. See how they go against they right there, they're just going against God right there. You're getting baptized, woman, because you have given your life, you uh profess your love for Christ and your acceptance as Christ as your Lord and Savior and all the teachings of Christ. This has nothing to do with you being ordained. So what she's saying is if I can't lead the church, I don't want to be a part of the church. If I've never heard such egotistical rubbish in my life, look at that. Ordain women or stop baptizing them. So you would compromise your baptism for a movement that go against God. Because it's clear right here, she's more concerned about um power. That's what it is. It's power over the church. Women want power. So her her selfish desires, seeking power, lusting over power is more important. Look at my mouse, is more important than being baptized and giving her life to God. And you wonder why the church is all screwed up. We can't even go to the churches no more because the churches don't have any order. The defenders of the tradition must defend it. It is not enough to repeat it. And this pretty much repeats ordain women or stop baptizing them. They're more concerned with power, being ordained, rather than being submissive. Because God told women to be submissive. Paul, all throughout the Bible, women are to be submissive, but it never said that they couldn't contribute to God's glory. And this is where women get it twisted. Like they don't understand their role. They don't understand what it means to be a woman. So if you don't understand how to be a woman of God, you for sure won't know how to navigate through this world and be a good woman in the household, to be a good woman in the workforce. They don't know. They simply don't know what it means to be a woman. Only thing they know is they always got to challenge a man. Today's women, what it means to be a woman is to always, 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 every single day. Y'all let me know if I'm wrong. Y'all holler at me. Y'all, y'all know I'm right. It's to challenge a man. That's their purpose today, is to challenge a man, challenge his role, challenge his mind, challenge his authority, challenge his position, challenge his spirit. Ladies, you're not. What is such a need to be a man? Why do you have such a need to be a freaking man? And then you're pushing this on the children because see, now I just giving y'all the whole scoop about their agenda is to replace men with power. They want to replace the roles of men. They hate being women. They hate being submissive. They hate being cooperative. They hate structure. I can never marry a woman who believes that she should have the same role as me. I just marry my damn self. That's why the marriages are declining. That's why church membership is declining, because the churches aren't telling the truth. They're letting the weaker of the species run the church. They're letting the weaker of the species run the household. They're letting the weaker of the species run the corporations. Now, corporations ain't nothing really changed too much. There's a lot of females doing their thing. There's a lot of men doing their thing, but it does reflect a woman in her household because she has to be, excuse my French, she has to be a little bitchy when she's in the workforce because people won't respect her because she knows she's soft. She's weaker of the species, so she has to act extra bitchy, extra hard. She has to do the most because she fears that people won't give her the same respect as a man. And I totally get it. But here's the thing. Your power is not being aggressive. Your power is not being masculine. You can never be masculine because you're not a freaking man. You may have masculine energy, but you just project the masculine energy, but we still view you as a woman. You're still weak, right? So you out there trying to be a man, work all day. Who's going to watch the kids if I'm working all day and you're working all day? Somebody got to stay at home with the kids. They don't want to stay at home with the kids. They don't want to cook and clean. They don't want to be submissive. They don't want to listen to God. They don't listen to God's son. They just don't. This is why it's so hard to find a good wife today. This world is me, 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 me. And boom. Shout out to all the feminine. Can we show a little love to the feminine women out there who are submissive, who are kind, who know they role? who appreciate a good man. Give it up to those good women out there who know they role, who are genuinely nice, who ain't bothered by the children, who's willing to wipe their boogies, to help them with their homework, and hold down a part-time job to help her man. Everything about a good woman. Let me give another shout, because everything about a good woman is about serving God and serving a good, not just any old man, just any old nigga. Is serving a good man. Once again, serving a good man, taking care of them children, who hold down a job because she knows her glory is being kind, being sweet, being quiet, being loving, being compassionate, being caring. Oh, shout out to all the real women, because out of 100 women today, I want to say all those qualities and traits that I've just described. I want to say out of 100, I want to say, let me think about it, only four. And let me be a little bit fair. I said five. 5 women out of 100 you'll find with all those traits: kind, sweet, submissive, cooperative, putting God and a good man and her family before her own self. Oh, that's a good woman. Inspirational, intelligent. Oh, I'm not married. I don't have no kids. I ain't talk like this before I moved to the South. I talk like this. What's up, Cali? On mine. I ain't got no kids. I ain't got no wife. But the day I find my wife, she gonna be so. Oh, I have a vision of what I want, and hopefully, I'll treat her so good, because I know she's gonna treat me so good. But a lot of men today, you listen to me good, man. Flood them comments and let me know. You, if you disagree, it's gonna be you're not gonna find a good woman in today's time. I'm sorry. You just saying, with the rise of OnlyFans, they're sluts, they're always combative, they don't know their roles. Most of them don't know the difference between a man and a woman. They all over the place mentally, they're all over the place spiritually, they're all over the place emotionally. We are doomed, fellas. We are doomed. Look at these women. I tell a woman, hey, respectfully, babe, I would like some steak and eggs tomorrow for breakfast with a cup of yogurt, fruit, and orange juice and water. Can you do that for me, baby? Why I gotta do that? Why I gotta do that? Nigga, I'm tired. I just work like you. I'm working like you. I'm working like you. I'm working like you. Woo! I can't even get no steak and eggs because she works now. She don't want to cook. That alleviates her from her duties. That excuses her from her duties. No, you're gonna work 12 hours like I work. Just because I work, that doesn't mean my manly duties stop. That means I still gotta fix the car. That means I still gotta fix things around the house. I still gotta take care of majority of the bills. I still got to keep myself together. I still got to lay law and order. If we have kids, I still got to make sure the kids are straight. Make sure the teachers ain't doing nothing fishy. We, I'm still running it. Even after I do my 12 hours, I still got to go out there and hold down the house, hold down myself, hold down you, hold. It doesn't stop for a man, so it ain't gonna stop for you. And this is what I mean. They trying to take our roles, but add a little modifications, right? So going back here, I'm gonna show y'all once again before I go over to what Paul had to say, real brief. These women want to take over the churches. Doing a little quick recap before I go over to Corinthians. How women can change the church. That is, these women are evil. I don't care what nobody say. These women are evil. How women can create the church that will be. Think about, it's always something new, and everything that is traditional is bad. Traditional means God, modern means devil, right? Change means devil, right? The old way, the traditional way, the law and order, things that are put into this rightful place, they don't agree with that. I want you to fully understand that these women do not agree with the Bible, but they're using the Bible for their own selfish agendas, for their own selfish egos. Look how she holding up the Bible, but she doesn't believe anything that's in the Bible. Go then create your own religion then. Keep Christ out of it. And that's why I like to advocate. Keep God out your mess. Look, she's proudly holding up the Bible and she's going against the Bible. And all you, what are you talking about? She's going against the Bible. I mean, women, they can contribute. All these weak men, women could look. He looks weak. He look like he touched little boys. Look at him. Look at, oh my God, look at him. Look at him. Goodness grief. He looks soft. Not because of his age. He just looked like just a soft man. Look at all these men are behind. And this is what Paul was talking about. No man is supposed to be behind. No man is supposed to see a woman's back. She's supposed to be at the least side by side, but he's always supposed to be in front because we're the stronger of the species. These two weak men are behind this woman, and she's holding up the Bible, the very word that she don't believe in. Now let's go to the word. Can we go to the word and let's close this thing up? We about to go to the word. Should I show my face on this? Should I? Nah. Y'all gonna see me enough after I get done with this because this is very, very. Now y'all need to see my face. Oh, it kicked me out. But here's it go. What then? Now this is Corinthians chapter 14, and we're gonna get into start from verse 26, and we're gonna look at verse 26. What then? This is Paul speaking. What then shall we say, brothers and sisters? Now, so give a little quick background. He's going from city to city, city state to city state. Going around the seven churches of Asia. This is the church is the most important, one of the most important pillars, but probably the most important pillar of our community. It is where our household, our schools, our justice relies on. All other pillars and factions of our society rely on the church, the seven churches of Asia. So now he's in Corinth talking to the church in Corinth and how the church should be constructed, how we should operate in the church, in the meaning and the purpose of going to church, and how we should treat one another inside the church, outside the church. Because what we do inside the church should radiate outside the church. All the beautiful things that we do in church, and we should be doing beautiful things, should resonate and radiate, shine on other people who are lost outside of the church. And that is the point of the church, to shine God's light. We absorb God's light and we shine the light once we leave the church, and we carry that light with us. Good order in worship. What then shall we say, brothers and sisters, when you come together? Each of you has a hymn or a word of instruction, a revelation, a tongue, or an interpretation. Everything must be done so that the church may be built up. He's talking straight. He ain't no confusion. The church is very important and it shall be built up. Verse 27, if anyone speaks in tongue, two or at the most three should speak one at a time, and someone must interpret. If there is no interpreter, the speaker should keep quiet in the church and speak to himself and to God. Two or three prophets should speak, and the others should weigh carefully carefully what is said. And if a revelation comes to someone who is sitting down, the first speaker should stop. For you can all prophesy in turn so that everyone may be instructed and encouraged. The spirits of prophets are subject to the control of prophets. For God is not a God of disorder, but of peace, as in all the congregations of the Lord's people. Before we get to 34, we're going to look at 32 real quick. The spirits of the prophets are subject to the control of the prophets. 33 is very important. For God is not a God of disorder. These women, the women I showed you earlier, all they talk about is disorder. Remember I tell you how they were evil? Remember I tell you how these women are out of order? They hold up the Bible, but they don't even believe nothing that's in the Bible. For God is not a God of disorder. His order, man, God over Christ, Christ over man, man over woman, woman over children. The man, a good man, is over a good woman. Christ is over that man, and God is over Christ. For God, once again, is not a God of disorder. Little children don't even know if they boys or girls. They don't even know how to behave themselves A little boy don't even know how to behave himself as a little boy. He think he a girl. A little girl don't know how to behave herself as a little girl. She thinks she a boy. She wearing boy clothing. The parents just let them do whatever they want. That is not of God. God is not a God of disorder. And these women are bringing disorder to the church, evil. And we should be like God and move like God. Because it says right here, as in all the congregations of the Lord's people, we should not be of disorder either. We should not welcome disorder. Now, here we go. Here's the meat and potatoes of this whole thing. Meat and potatoes. Women, y'all listen up good. You can get all in your fin. Hit me in my comment. I don't care. You can tell your grandmama, your auntie, your sister, your niece, you're wrong. You are wrong. You are wrong. If you in that pulpit and you are a preacher, and if you are a priest, you are wrong. Women should remain silent in the churches. They are not allowed to speak, but must be in submission, as the law says. If they want to inquire about something, they should ask their own husbands at home. For it is, y'all look at this, look at my mouse, check my mouse game. For it is disgraceful for a woman to speak in the church. A woman's not even supposed to speak in the church. She's not even supposed to speak in the church. Women, can I read this again? Nah, I want y'all to see my face. I want y'all to see my face. I want y'all to see my face. I ain't scared. I ain't running. And it's not bash to women because you two like to get in their feelings. I am not bash because you two like all, as long as black men are killing each other, willing to go to jail, you two let all this stuff go on. So y'all can let me go on too. No disrespect to women. I'm not bashing women. I am bringing law and order and according to God. Let's one more time. Women should remain silent in the churches. They are not allowed to speak. They are not allowed to speak. One more time. They are not allowed to speak, but must be in submission as the law says. You're supposed to be submissive. If they want to inquire about something, they should ask their own husbands at home. Questions about the Bible, questions about the church. For it is disgraceful for a woman to speak in the church. Mm, mm, It's right there. It's right there. It's right there. If we can't go to the church and get order, if we can't go to the church and say we're God of peace, if we can't get peace, there is no peace without order. There is no peace without order. There is no what? There is no what? There is no peace without order. And I'd like to give a shout out to myself for breaking this down to my little horn a little bit. I did a great job learning perspective because these women are evil and they're all about chaos. They want to bring chaos into the church. They want to bring confusion into the church. No woman should be speaking. They are to remain silent, for it is disgraceful for a woman to speak in church because we all have a role. A man has a role, a woman has a role. Sorry, when women constantly try to take our roles, it eliminates our purpose. And this is what the devil wants, to eliminate strong men from society. The best way, make the woman so rebellious that he have to go into this world alone. Make it to where the women are so rebellious with the media and this whole transgender and the LGBTQ. Let's use women to introduce chaos into the home. They're using women to introduce chaos into the church. Women using women to introduce chaos into the workforce. Men can't be men. We can't look at a woman. We can't do anything because we're scared or losing our freaking jobs because they've given all the power to the women. They're using women to control the courts, child support, divorce. They're using women for all kind of evil and disorder and chaos. For one, second point, it eliminates our purpose, eliminates the man's purpose. If you always trying to be the man, if you always going out there trying to take on the bulk load of the responsibilities of the house, the bulk load of the responsibilities at the church, the bulk load of the responsibility, where does that leave the men? And then you call men weak when we don't want to help you. But you just said you was independent. You just said you can do it all by yourself. You can do it all by yourself. Well, you know what? Independent woman, modern woman, go do it by yourself. Y'all flood my comment. What y'all think about this? Absolutely absurd. 250 capital G, obviously rare podcast. Those of you been rocking me since day one, I appreciate y'all. Those of you who just found the channel, I appreciate y'all too. I'm gone.